Okay, so I just want to start off by saying that I was a little nervous about today. I was worried, what if I forget to say something important? And then the realization dawned on me. This is about something much bigger than me. This is about my son, his future, the future of all the children on the planet. It's about a global community of people, young people and children that are committed to protecting our planet, to journeying with love and respect for all living things, to taking action, to creating change, now for future generations, one little footstep at a time. And I'd like to read this quote by the Dalai Lama, as I feel it so perfectly expresses what I feel we can all take responsibility for. Today, more than ever before, life must be characterized by a sense of universal responsibility. Not only nation to nation and human to human, but also human to other forms of life. So every month I interview people. I interview founders of environmental, animal, and people organizations. You get to hear their stories, what inspired them to take action and make a difference, learn about challenges that they faced and overcome. And then there'll be ways in which you can get involved and also get your kids involved. Also, every month I interview inspiring parents. Because being a parent myself, I've met so many parents that are really making such an amazing difference in the world. They head companies that are creating change for our environment, animals, and people, and they're raising their kids to do the same. So I really wanted to share their stories. And then finally, I interview inspiring public figures. Why? Because I feel it's not just about helping the environment, animals, and other people. We need to take care of us. We need to take care of ourselves too, before we can make any kind of effective change elsewhere in the world. So people for my inspiring figure interviews are mind-body healing experts, yoga teachers, conscious lifestyle coaches, people that have experienced many challenges and overcome them, all designed to help us be the best that we can be. So what is the intention with all of these interviews? To educate people on issues that they might not have known much about, to get their kids involved, to inspire a rethinking of actions, and from there, inspire action itself. There are so many issues that we're faced with currently, and it can be really overwhelming. I've spoken to people, and I've gone through this myself, where you hear everything that's going on, and you kind of get into an all or nothing way of thinking, and then you don't do anything. Most people don't do anything. But I think it's really important to remember that we can make a difference. Small actions do make a difference. We don't have to go to Burma to save the orangutans. We can really do something from the comfort of our own homes. We can research, learn, we can donate, we can volunteer, we can organize a walkathon in our community, we can organize a fundraiser at our schools, we can recycle, and we can do our best not to buy products that harm people, the animals, and environment. And that's really all any of us can do, is our best. And there's a story I heard recently about a hummingbird. I don't know if any of you have heard this story, but imagine a huge fire in this forest, and all the animals are watching this fire, burn down their home. And there's this little hummingbird that races to the nearest stream, gathers a drop of water, and races back to the forest and drops it on the fire, back and forth, back and forth. The animals are looking at the hummingbird like he's crazy, and they say to him, "What are you doing? You can't make any kind of difference." And the hummingbird looks at them and he goes, "I'm doing the best that I can. I'm not going to watch as my home burns down." So that to me really spoke to me about what I can do. I'm just doing the best that I can. So what inspired me to do this? Well, I've always been passionate about environmental and animal issues. Human issues, yes, but there was always a but. Because people, in my opinion, were the ones that were chopping down our forests, killing animals humanely, and being pretty selfish, in my opinion, about our planet. But I've really come to realize that it's people that are doing amazing things as well to help the animals and environment. And one issue isn't separate from the other. Human issues do affect environment and wildlife, but vice versa too. Everything is connected. So I really began to see and feel how many people were really also suffering on our planet, and that they needed support too. It wasn't just animals and environment. And then I had a baby, which he's 19 months old now, and that really inspired me to take action. I felt I had a personal responsibility to him and to his future to do whatever I can to protect our planet. I'm a single parent, and I know the challenges that we as parents face. It can be overwhelming, it can be exhausting and tiring, and yet, I just could never get that thought out of my mind. You need to do what you can for him. And so I think it's really important to believe in ourselves, to believe in our ability to create something bigger than us. It's so easy, I speak for myself, to get stuck in our small world and not extend our feelers beyond that. But we need to, and there is so much to be gained by asking the question, what can we do to be better, to be stronger, more focused, committed to ourselves, our community and our world? Yes, someone going to help save the rainforest is making a difference, but so is a wonderfully friendly cashier at my local store. It all comes from an open heart and a passion for life, and our actions do make a difference. When I look back at my life, I'm 37 years old, I think back to all of the times that I've enjoyed swimming in the ocean, walking through forests and seeing wildlife up close, and I want my son to enjoy these things, and his children. And what about their children? Only by using our voice, raising our voice in some way, can we really make a difference. Not doing anything is an action. Passivity is easy, but it does have consequences. So now I'd like to just briefly talk about each of the people I've interviewed, and one person I've interviewed from each section. That's environment, wildlife, humanity, parent, and inspiring public figure. The first one is humanity. I interviewed a man called Jason Fromm, who founded the At One Month Project in 2005. It's a pretty amazing organization. It's dedicated to creating harmony between indigenous cultures and modern cultures. And they provide much needed support to families and children in Peru. And they also offer ways, programs for people to make a living sustainably. It's really pretty amazing. And ways to get involved and get your kids involved too is to sponsor a child. You can donate clothes and toys, other necessities that are much needed, or organize a fundraiser in your school. Next, the environment, our wonderful ocean. I interviewed a woman called Sam Koshare Eduardes, who founded oceanstory.org. Her story is pretty amazing because she bought a boat, a former racing yacht, and she was initially going to use it just purely for business purposes. And she went sailing to the Caribbean and across the Pacific Ocean. And she told me in my interview with her, what I saw was really amazing, really beautiful, but we came across tons and tons of trash in the ocean, plastic, miles of it. And they saw how it was affecting the people that lived on the islands directly. And she said, I had to change what the mission was for this boat. I just couldn't not do anything. So it became the Ocean Story Boat, which is undertaking a global campaign voyage for our ocean. I believe it's setting sail this month in April. It's in New Zealand right now. She asks, she says that we're all wave makers. What kind of waves are we making? What are we doing to support our planet, to support our ocean? She actually has a very beautiful way for kids and parents to get involved. You can send in your story, your poem, your images for the ocean, and they're being created in the design around the boat, like a mosaic, which is a really wonderful idea. Next, animals. I interviewed a man called Gene Bauer, who founded Farm Sanctuary in 1986. It's based in New York, and he recently acquired Animal Acres in California, which is where I took this picture. It's the nation's largest farm animal protection organization. It's all about promoting kindness and compassion for farm animals. And, the sad reality is, on factory farms, that most animals can't turn around, lie down, or walk around. It's really pretty sad. You can see this pig is loving his stay at the sanctuary. It's a spa day for him. So here's a picture of my little boy. I took him at the end of last year to that very sanctuary, and he loved it. He chased the chickens and the geese, and they chased him. But it's important for me that he grow up with an awareness of how his choices impact the planet. I grew up eating meat, and I never gave it a second thought where my meat was coming from. I never associated my steak with the cow that I thought was so cute. So my hope for him is that if he ever decides to eat meat, he'll buy from places that really treat their animals with respect and kindness. My inspiring parent interview, Lisa Schultz, right there in the middle. She owns an art gallery, and she also founded the Peace Project less than 2 years ago, which is all about creating peace in communities around the world. And she believes that through creativity and community, we can change the world. And they did something truly amazing with the Peace Project. Within 2 years of it being established, they delivered 10,000 pairs of crutches to disabled men, women, and children in Sierra Leone. Really quite amazing. These kids have been watching their parents drag themselves across the floor, and now they had crutches, which is really quite beautiful. And Lisa has a 4-year-old daughter who is very excited about what her mother does. And she's told her mother, you know, you can take care of everything else, but I want to feed all the people in Africa. So it's really quite sweet at 4 years old to see that. And finally, one of my inspiring figure interviews was with Tommy Rosen, who's a yoga teacher, but has 20 years of experience helping people recover from addictions of every kind. And this isn't just drugs and alcohol. This is the other addictions that I know I've been a victim of, and I'm sure most people have at some point in their life. It's resentment, negative thinking, procrastination, and self-doubt. You know, and just listening to him talk about his own recovery and what's possible in life is really inspiring, you know, because when we truly do let go of those addictions, one or all of them, we really become better people, happier, more peaceful, and more able to do good in the world. And so, now I'd like to ask you all, you know, what causes are you passionate about? What are you willing to fight for? You know, think about what small actions you can take on a daily basis that can really support our planet, our environment, animals, or people. You know, what is your journey about? For it is how we journey now that will determine our future. Let's all be like the hummingbird, you know, doing the best that we can and being part of the solution in any way that we can, one little footstep at a time. Thank you.